so that we don't lose any time, Thai Union Feedmill would like to begin the analyst meeting for the fourth quarter of 2023. Welcome to all of the analysts joining us physically on site and online as well. My name is Tirapon Soon Ponrai. We would like to begin the results for the fourth quarter of 2023 and for the full year of 2023. I'd like to invite Mr. Pirasak, our Chief Executive Officer, to take over. Hello to all of the analysts joining us. I am here to share the fourth quarter results and the overall look at 2023 as well. Thai Union Feedmill this year has had record sales exceeding 5 billion Thai baht. This is the first time. And we expect this is more than 2022, thanks to our raw material prices in Thailand. And the second half of the year, shrimp prices went down. In the fourth quarter, our sales year-on-year 4.3%. And this is mostly from our higher shrimp feed sales and sea bass feed sales. Our gross profit has recovered well to 37.8% year-on-year, thanks to our cost management in the factory. And in the fourth quarter, we saw costs go down. Even though our net profit went down year-on-year 12%, we have a higher employee benefit. This affected our SG&A expenses. For the entire year of 2023, our sales went up 3.9% year-on-year. And we recorded 5.81 billion Thai baht in sales for the first time. Our gross profit went up 8.1% year-on-year, up to 439 million Thai baht. Even though the raw materials for 2023, the raw material prices were higher than in the year 2022, our net profit went down by 20% or so. And we recognized a one-time item in the second quarter where we closed a farm equaling about 20 million. If we don't include this, we would have a profit of 107 or so million baht, which is comparable to the 109 million baht in the year before. As for our sales, most of it comes from our shrimp feed at 55.2%. This is an increase from the year before, which was 53%. And the year 2023, we had a market share for shrimp feed at 17 to 18%, and that was in 2022. In 2023, it went up to 19 or so percent. For our fish feed, the contribution is at 33.7%, which went down a bit because of the Pakistan impact and the fresh fish demand that went down as well in the country. In the first and second quarter, we had adjusted our portfolio, and the fresh fish feed went down as well. Our sea bass feed has grown very strongly. We are number one in the market, and we have grown at 35%. And the livestock feed is similar to the year before. For the overall picture in the country for shrimp production, in 2023, the numbers went up by about 1.3% from 250,000 or so tons. And the year before, last year, it was 260,000 tons. Our shrimp feed sale has grown continuously. In the past 4 years, you can see from the graph that even though the production has gone down, Thanks to our quality that has improved over the years, we have been able to gain market share, bigger market share over the years. In the last year, our sales went up 7.1%, higher than the production, and the country went up by 2% only. And therefore, our market share went up from 17% to 19.5%, almost 20% in the past year. Our dividend policy, the company continues to remain steadfast to our policy of no less than 50% of the net profit for dividends. And in 2023, our board approved a 0.13 per share dividend, and this is at a 74% payout ratio, which is higher than our policy of 50%. And we paid this out after the shareholder approval. It will be paid on the 4th of March in 2000, paid on the 23rd of April in 2024. In the next slide, you will see our operations in Indonesia. We have operations that are in a positive trend. The fourth quarter for TUKL in Indonesia went up to 76 million Thai baht, growing more than 67% comparing year on year. And the net profit is almost at break even, and we have a loss of less than 100,000 Thai baht. TUKL is improving thanks to our cost management in September of quarter 3 of the past year. In terms of production, things are stabilizing. We are improving in our cost management. Production is improving as well. We have adjusted our formulation for the feed to meet the needs of the Indonesian market. And our raw material management, whether it is sourcing or the specifications of the raw materials or the synergy that we are looking for in the price and the quality, have led to our production costs lowering in the past year for the fourth quarter after we made those adjustments. And the quality of the feed, we have improved it. And this has enabled us to gain a bigger market share from 500 to 600 in the third quarter, up to 1,081 tons in the fourth quarter, up from 500 to 600 in the third quarter. We are also continue to pursue cost management. TUFM is also focused on sustainability, and we are not being complacent. We have so many projects to reduce the wastewater being released from our factories, from our marine protein plant. The water is treated and we recycle that water. We reuse the water. The water that is used to boil our shrimp, it is being used for the production of our feed, which improves the quality and the color, making us different or differentiating us from our competitors in the market. The projects that we are working on, we have one with SCG to reduce the carbon from the boilers in our factory. We have changed the coal that we're using, which is more expensive, but we're using it in a lower amount, and this reduces the greenhouse gas emission. We have a policy from our parent company, which is TU Group, to reduce the GHG or greenhouse gas emissions by 42%. And we are using the ash to fertilize. And we continue to contribute to the local community, whether it's the schools or various other locations wherever we have operations in Thailand. Our investment also includes electric vehicle or EV trucks. We're going to use a budget of 600 million baht for this transportation to reduce the fuel and become electric of the alternative transportation instead. We'll have about 4 trucks. And I'd now like to invite our Vice President of Accounting, Finance, and Credit Control to take over. Hello to all of our investors and analysts and anyone who's interested in joining us today. We will talk about the structure of our profit and loss for the fourth quarter and for the full year. We have been improving our foundations, our fundamentals, and we have made improvements to our team as well. We are also making changes to our formulation and doing portfolio adjustment. And we'll talk about the results of all of these. And we have some 4 highlights to share with you for all of our analysts and investors joining us today. The first is, as Mr. Parasak said earlier, our top line has grown in the fourth quarter, 4.3% year-on-year, thanks to our focus on higher margin products. And the second thing is our gross margin rose from the last year from 7.4% to 9.7%. And our SG&A structure increased partly due to our fourth quarter provision for the bonus to reward our employees and also to bolster our sales team in TUKL. And you can see that the resulting growth from them. And the last thing is our fourth quarter net profit dropped by 12%. This is a bit due to the write-off of 20 million baht. And we also are boosting also due to the bonus that we gave our employees. And here are the details for our top line. Looking at the net sales value, if you take a look at the SKUs, each SKU in the shrimp feed, the sales went up year-on-year and also quarter-on-quarter went up year-on-year 2.7%. Quarter-on-quarter, it dropped very slightly by 0.1%. And TUKL, the shrimp feed demand in quarter 4 sales grew compared to the third quarter, thanks to our adjustment in the sales team and the sales area, despite the drop in the local market. Fish feed also went up. We've seen a growth in the sales overall. Quarter-on-quarter, it's due to the sales in Thailand because of the low season compared to quarter 3. Even though TUKL sales went up for shrimp feed in the domestic market, we saw a drop. If we look at fish feed, we had 430 million baht in quarter 4 of 2022 compared to almost 470 million baht in quarter 4 of 2023. This is mostly from our sea bass feed. We have a negative margin for the other fish feed. And we're going to focus more on fish feed that is popular in the market. And we're also going to readjust our formula to make it more profitable and more competitive. And we're also going to try to lower our cost structure and increase the margin for our factory, for our production facility. Livestock feed has grown in Pakistan. As we mentioned earlier, in the past quarter, in Pakistan, the fish feed, or stolen fish feed dropped in Pakistan, but livestock went up, dairy feed in particular in Pakistan. And so, however, the increase in livestock feed sales in Pakistan was not enough to offset the drop in fish. If we took a look at the different companies, a second ago we looked at the different SKUs. Now we're looking at, this is a look based on the different entities. Thai Union Feedmill net sales grew up in the year-on-year, 2.1%. This is mostly due to sea bass feed, and shrimp feed was more stable. Year-on-year, we went up 115 tons. Shrimp feed is in a low season. For TUKL, we saw a leap in the growth in the third quarter of last year, and if compared to the fourth quarter, we've gone up by 18.3% for TUKL. And for the tons, in 2022, we only sold 1,315 tons, but in quarter four of 2023, it went up by 65% to 2,173 tons. That was an increase for the entire year for TUKL. It's only shrimp feed. It went up from 2,000. It went up significantly, but it has not reached the break-even point yet. The break-even is at about 1,500 tons per month, but we have adjusted the formulation. The break-even may not have to reach 1,500 tons. It may be at about 1,200 or 1,300 tons to break even. In the first quarter and second quarter, we will start seeing this, as we promised many times before. And for AMG is still having a problem with this top line because the fish feed market has an issue. The economy in the country is also having an issue. We have to try to increase sales for livestock, the dairy feed, and also OEM and pet food. This has led to sales, if we compare year-on-year, to go down by 3 million baht. And in 2024, the executive managers, the executive team, we informed the board of directors here in Thailand a few days ago, and we told them we're confident, we have a plan to recover our sales. We have tested the market and we're going to launch new SKUs, which is the shrimp feed. If we can do this, we will be the first in Pakistan to do this, and this will help the top line of the company improve. And on the next slide, this is the full year picture. You can see the structure for the revenue, both on a quarterly basis and full year basis. If we look at the fourth quarter, the structure for shrimp feed, the percentage has gone down from 53.7% down to 52.8%. And the main reason for this drop is in Thailand, even though we have an increase from Indonesia, but in Thailand, which is a larger size for us, larger portion for us, it went down by 1%. The fish feed has gone up thanks to sea bass from 34% or so to 36.5%, and the livestock went down from 9.8% to 8.7%. We also have another product, probiotics for the water to improve the shrimp raising, fish raising, and this will help with net sales. So in the future, the company has decided amongst the executive team that we will improve this sector because this is something that can lead to a good margin as well. For the entire year, if we take a look at shrimp feed, it's still positive. at about 53% to 55.2%. And fish feed contribution declined by 2% because of the declining feed sales in Pakistan. And if we look at the livestock, livestock is still growing, but in the fourth quarter, and you can see that it went down because the company intended on its own to downsize this part. And the production input, and the raising if we look at the overall value quarter on quarter, no, that's year on year. The sales for the entire group went up by 52 million baht. This is an increase quarter on quarter, but if it's on year, we have a new high of over 5 billion Thai baht. This is the first time for us. This is an increase of 200 million baht. You can see the structure of our profit, the breakdown of our profit. I'm going to take a look at the gross margin first. Last year, it was at 90.2 million. Right now, it's at 124 million Thai baht. And in terms of percentage, we went up to 9.7%. Our SG&A has gone up significantly. This is intentional to motivate our team. The team in Thailand, we have a bonus to reward and encourage our sales team, and also our sales team in Indonesia. And that's why the cost in this area went up. But we believe that this will lead to higher returns. We expect to see the impact in the first or the second quarter. So we would like the analysts to be patient and wait for the results to come out. We expect a positive impact from this. And for the entire quarter, the fourth quarter, when we consolidate things, our Thai Union Feedmill, we have a drop from 16.9 million in net profit for 2022, went down to 14.8 million in the fourth quarter of 2023. If we take a look at this in parts, you can look at the waterfall graph on the next slide. We have 109.5 million Thai baht for 2020 full year. And the net profit for full year 2023 is 87.4. We have what was lost is for Thai Union Feedmill, minus 28 million Thai baht. And TUKL, things improved, even though it's not reaching the break-even point yet. And MG has a negative impact on us by about 8.8 million Thai baht. And we have our consolidation items between the parent and the subsidiary companies. So the net for the consolidation is altogether, we consolidated and we have arrived at the number 87.4 million Thai baht. We have the one-off item of 20 million Thai baht. And so if we do not include this one-off item, then our net profit, the adjusted net profit, is very similar to the full year net profit for the year before. And so remember, we did have that bonus for our employees. And we'd also like to inform you that in the fourth quarter, the past quarter, TUFM has not received much positive impact from the raw material prices. Fish meal prices have just dropped in the 12th month, but on average, fish meal price was higher than the year before on average. And the other raw material prices that have significant portions in our formulas, soybean meal and wheat flour as well. Overall, the soybean meal price, the average price is higher, was 9.7% higher, and the wheat flour has decreased. The price for wheat flour has decreased, but the average is still high. And quarter on quarter, we've seen an increase by 3.4%. Thai Union Feedmill is working hard to maintain the quality, although we're not receiving much advantage from the drop in the raw material prices. We're looking to improve our production efficiencies and management in other areas. And this shows in our working capital. If you take a look down on the bottom right, the cash conversion, this is the bottom left, cash cycle conversion. That's it. In the third quarter of 2023, it was 58 days. In the fourth quarter of 2023, it went down to 54 days. This is an improvement. And this reflects the AR collection period from 59 days down to 56 days, and our inventory outstanding days, the turnaround has gone down, and this is a reflection of our improved management at our warehouses, going down from 46 days to 41 days. And the number of days for days payable, it has gone down, perhaps not very significantly, but this is due to our dealings with our partners. And it's gone down from 47 days to 43 days. And the return on equity and also the interest-bearing debt to equity. If we look at the return on equity, it's more or less the same at 4%. So the numbers are basically the same. And the interest-bearing debt to equity is also at a low level, a low range. This shows strength in our cost structure. And this reflects that we are trying to improve our foundation so that the various problems we may face in 2003 they've been resolved. And we have the raw material issue. The analysts and investors, I'm sure you know that right now the situation is things are subsiding. There's a gap between the sales and the costs, production costs, but we believe that we will see a turnaround. So we ask you to wait for the results for quarter one and second quarter. And Mr. Parasak has great things to share with you now. For 2023, it's over. And I'd like to talk to you about 2024, which is this year. I assumed the CEO position last year, and I mostly focused on the costs. Our keyword was production, our formulation, and the quality of our product, and to improve our market share. The financial guidance for this year, our target is to grow by 10 to 15%. Last year, we ended the year with 5.5 billion Thai baht. Our gross profit should be between 12 to 13% or more. The dividend policy will remain at least 50%. This year, we're going to invest our capex is going to be at about 256 million Thai baht. This is for machinery. We're going to use the BOI privileges as well. And we're going to increase our effectiveness and efficiency for the factory. I see our growth in terms of shrimp feed being most significant. This is our core. In the past year, for 2020, we wanted to have a market share of 17 to 18%. We were able to achieve almost 20% market share last year. This year, I want to see our market share to grow to 25%. In the fourth quarter, shrimp prices may not be very good, but right now, shrimp prices are improving. The production in Thailand is not, I expect it to be not less than 260,000 tons. So we expect to see growth in this segment. And for the freshwater prawn, our market share is about 11%. And the production was 12,500 tons in Thailand. This year, I've set a team with the sales team to go up to 18% of the market share. And sea bass feed, our market share is still number one at 34 to 35%. And last year, we were very aggressive in the sea bass feed market. We want to go up by another 2 or 3%. Another fish feed brand that we're launching is Tuxedo and seasoned fat. In the first quarter and the second quarter, when I joined the company last year, this portfolio, I adjusted it down because when we were selling it, we were making a loss. But after I had worked with the team to improve the cost structure and the formulation, we saw an improvement in the third and the fourth quarter. So we can sell more freshwater fish feed. This will be another driving engine for TUFM, whether it's catfish or frog feed. We expect to see a growing market share from the single digit of 6 to 7%. And we have newer brands as well. Last year, for the entire year, I went out to see the customers on my own. And I talked to the customers to determine their needs, whether it's in the eastern region, the southern region, what quality they're looking for, what aroma or smell, what color they're looking for in terms of feed. And I worked with the team to provide custom-made feed. Our freshwater fish feed has improved since the fourth quarter, and we're seeing momentum in this area. And we want to keep that momentum. So this is going to be a driving engine for our sales for this year. And in terms of the volume, our shrimp continues to grow according to plan, and our sea bass feed also grows, and our freshwater fish feed continues to grow. Then our volume in the factory, where we're using only 50 to 55% of our production capacity, we don't need to increase our production capacity. We will be able to ramp up the volume, increase the volume, and our overhead per unit will go down. This is our plan for the future. We are not increasing livestock feed. We're going to maintain it, and we're selling only to OEM. That's the goal for this year. Newer products that are you will see in the pipeline are 2 items. One is our carp feed, and we're starting with the market. We're testing the market, and I'm starting to build a team. I have people in the R&D team to develop products in this area. R&D from we have Japanese employees and Thai employees joining the R&D team to work on the new carp feed product. And there is much potential for growth in the Thai market. We're also going to welcome a marketing team to sell carp feed as well, full-time positions. We have our formulation, and I've already interviewed people for the marketing positions, and we expect to conclude to form our team by the end of this month. We're also talking with others about dry pet food. We're talking with ITC, the company under the same umbrella. We might have the opportunity to make pellet food with ITC. This is a pipeline project for us. It's part of our roadmap. And Indonesia, after the past year, the numbers for 2022, we saw a loss. In 2023, the loss was less. This year, after we have worked on resolving the problems, and I led the team to Indonesia to check out the operations in Indonesia, to look at the sourcing. I worked there for 2 weeks on my own with the team. We plan to send 3 of our employees here in Thailand over to Indonesia. And after working with the structure for the factory, whether it's the cost management there, the cost structure to improve the sales for Q4, we're increasing sales from 500 to 600 tons up to almost 1,100 tons. We're trying to gain more market share there. From 2022, it was over 100 million in sales. But in 2023, you can see a significant jump in our sales numbers. So for TFM, we're going to focus on Indonesia. Again, as mentioned, we only have 1,100 tons, but break-even will be at 1,300, 1,400 tons. We expect to reach that break-even point this year. We have plans for TUKL. From this point on, TUKL will be a growth engine, another growth engine for TFM. And AMD in Pakistan, our livestock feed. This is a dairy livestock. Livestock feed is improving. There were problems with flooding there, with disease, epidemics. Fish feed is improving in that area. Our team has worked on increasing sales to cover shrimp feed as well. In Pakistan, we expect to be able to sell shrimp feed in the 5th month of this year, in the second quarter. And this year, for shrimp feed in Pakistan, we want to sell 600 tons in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Pakistan is a country which is beginning to have shrimp farming. And many people are investing in building shrimp farms. We're working with the supply chain there, with our partner there. We have output, input, minerals, vitamins to help support that. We're going to increase sales. This will help increase sales for TFM. Pakistan has shrimp ponds. We have sent technicians there for 2 months to work for 2 months in Pakistan. And right now, in Pakistan, they are beginning the shrimp farming. They are preparing the shrimp rearing ponds. And again, we expect to see things pick up in the 5th month of this year. We should be able to start selling shrimp feed. This would be the first time that Pakistan will have shrimp feed in the market, and TFM will be the pioneer there. That's the outlook for Pakistan. And in terms of our new products, as we mentioned before, we have managed new products. I would like to increase our top line and revenue. Profit is returning, profit is improving. If we see increased volume, then our overhead and fixed costs will reduce. We have a target to grow in terms of supplement products. This product. It helps with antioxidants. This is something we're selling in India. We sell 2 to 3 containers to India, and we're increasing the market. In 2022, we sold about 1 to 2 containers per month, but in India, we're now selling 2 to 3 containers per month. And this one generates a lot of profit, and so we are happy to invest our human resources. We're increasing our human resources investment there. We have increased our sales team for TFM, full-time sales team, to sell these protection factor supporting elements, both for Thailand, Pakistan, and Indonesia, to improve our top line. Farmers like these supplement products of ours. They improve the health of the marine life or the livestock being raised. And so we've covered most of everything that we'd like to share with you. And CapEx that we have invested. This year we are investing in machinery. In Renault, the Renault plant, we're investing in machinery in the shrimp production line. This is about our CapEx. We're going to, again, we're focusing on machinery investment to improve our production yield and to reduce our costs. Our raw material sourcing for all 3 countries, Pakistan, Indonesia, and Thailand. We have meetings every week for the raw material sourcing team. We're always looking at the cost structure, trying to determine where the raw material prices are lowest. So it's a cost function sales. We want to reduce costs, and we're focusing on volume when we talk with our suppliers. It might be minerals or fish meal or the wheat, these various raw materials. We are working and improving our bargaining power and improving the synergy with our suppliers. Raw material sourcing, I just covered that. And something else I'd like to share with you is that we're using SAP to control our operations. In 2022 and 2023, in 2022, we didn't use SAP just yet. In 2023, we did. This has enabled us to analyze the information more comprehensively, more thoroughly. We have our inventory, we have our raw materials, our finished products, we have our clients' costs in each line. We have the SKU numbers, which show whether we're making a profit or a loss on each. The focus is making a profit for each of our products. We are closely monitoring all of the data using the new system. We are tracking very closely. We used to have a lot of stock, but now we are much leaner. We have only stock that lasts for 7 days. This means we do not have to our cash flow isn't left buried. Our cost management, overall management, inventory management has improved. Yield has improved, and CapEx 260 million baht. Most of it's going to our Renault plant for our shrimp production line. Fish production line, we're putting in 120 million baht there. For the steamer, the cooler, these are new and they're high-tech machinery. It will improve the quality of our products, which will improve our profit and yield. So if the yield would go up 2%, if we can sell 200,000 tons at 30 baht per kilograms, we will have a savings of 120 million baht. So our activities from this point on, we will be doing everything we can to manage costs better, improve our production efficiency, lower our fixed costs, improve our top line. We'll have smarter sales, more selective sales. We are looking at our risk portfolio, whether it's shrimp or sea bass. We have investments in various fish feed and frog feed. And we have the newer product, which is the carp feed. And also in the pipeline is the pet food project that we have at ITC. And Indonesia, we have improved things there in the last year, and we're seeing the effects now. 2024, my roadmap is very clear. The engine in Indonesia is improving. Thailand is improving. I think the overall picture will be better for us this year as well. That's the end of our presentation. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll ask our team to bring the microphone to you. In 2023, the raw material prices, if we compare to 2022, 2023, the raw material prices were more expensive than 2022. There was only one raw material where the average price went down, which is for the wheat flour. The other raw material prices were higher. Soybean meal went up. Fish oil was more expensive. What will happen? We see signs of decline in the raw materials in the fourth quarter, especially in December, and this year, this month as well. Looking at the first quarter, short term, I believe that this year for the first quarter, the prices will soften for raw materials, and this is in line with the momentum that began in December, leading up until January. And fish meal, the price is starting to drop. Soybean meal, the price is also starting to drop. So I just want to take a look at the short term, the 3 months ahead. It's too early to say for the second quarter or so. Have things started to normalize, or do we have room to grow? That's the first question. The second question is, your SG&A, it went up because of your bonus for your employees. And so will it be the same this year? If you have good performance, will you be providing a bonus like that as well? Let me answer the first question. We're not looking at any normalization yet. Our normalization will be at 12% or more. And I'd like analysts to know that in the first month we have 12.6%. The second question is about the employee benefit. The 2 or 3 years past here, Many companies have suffered because of COVID. It's widespread. And we have the Ukraine war, for instance, and many other factors. So many companies have not been able to give their employees a bonus. But we want to build our foundation on the technical side, and we want to give encouragement to our employees. So we gave bonuses, even though we included this in our budget. The percentage was at about 6 to 7% of the budget. I focus on human resources because when I joined the company last year, I focused on human resource management. Human resources are very important. We need to motivate them so that the team is encouraged to do their job. This year, we also have a goal to manage our costs, but at the same time, motivate our employees. Our team is very important. So everything is our gross profit can increase. I'd like to ask a few questions. The first question is, could you tell us about, we have a target for the market share for many products that are going to gradually increase, but for the farmers, when they decide to buy the products, let's take a look at you're going to increase your market share. But for the farmers, what are the factors that will make them decide to buy your products? Is it the price? Is it the services that you offer? And the second question is, this year and in the next few years, you're going to have newer products launched. First of all, with new products, many products, is it possible that your A&P or the marketing expenses will increase? And in terms of production, when you have many products, will there be a switching cost if you produce this and then the next 7 days you change to another product? Is this going to lead to switching costs? And the last thing is, what about your capex that you're going to invest this year? Where will the funding come from? I'll answer the first question about the market share and about the customers. First of all, customers are sensitive, price sensitive, but they give importance to quality, more importance to quality. They're happy to pay for the quality. I have met with the customers on my own, and customers are worried about feed conversion ratio. Is it 1 to 2? And our feed conversion ratio is better than our competitors thanks to our higher quality. So that's what the farmers are more concerned about. And our increased market share is thanks to our quality. We've worked with farmers. We've given them a chance to test our product and to evaluate based on the results that they're getting from using our products. So they end up using less feed, but they get a higher output, even though the input or the feed has gone down. The required feed has gone down. Farmers want quality results. And farmers in every region, in each region, are different. There are two or three different tiers. Some of them are more worried about performance. Another tier wants to have the feed to match the price. Another tier is the third tier, is the lower market, where they focus on price. They don't care about the feed conversion ratio. So there are three tiers. The first two tiers care about the FCR. The last tier doesn't really pay attention to the FCR. In the future, if we have new products, how are we going to manage those? A bigger portfolio of products. We are going to let the market be the determinant, and our sales team will work with our production team. One day in our factory, we may be producing just one product, not 5 SKUs. For instance, if we produce shrimp feed on one day, that will last for 5 days. And the next day we produce frog feed that will last for 5 days of sales of frog feed, for instance. So we're going to reduce our waste. We're going to focus on production based on the market demand. So that's how we're going to manage our new products. And our machinery, we have our BOI privileges. I'll allow Comfort to explain those to you. Let me explain. We have investing in our shrimp line production in the Renault factory. We have 175 million baht for. We're also going to strengthen our automation. At present, we have leftover capex that's in a fixed deposit, so we get a high interest rate. The money has not been paid out at one time, so we don't need to have any extra loans. We have cash left over, and we have operations. We've been able to collect on our accounts receivable, so we do not have any need to have more loans or newer loans. The machinery that we have invested in, it's to increase our freshwater fish feed as well. We're going to have our steamer, a cooler to increase our productivity so that our yield improves and the return will be faster. We'll see return faster. We're going to invest in more freshwater fish feed. We have thought about this carefully. We want to see growth in the industry. We want to improve our top line. In the Renault plant, we're focusing on new machinery because the machinery is old. It's time to change the machinery. And we have automated machinery as well. It's not that it's not going to lead to return. It will be reducing our dependence on labor, on daily labor. We're going to reduce daily labor by 10 to 15%. We're going to replace that with automated machinery. This is all within the framework that we have set. I'd like to ask about your project. You have a project for 6.4 million. How much in cost savings will this lead to? And if you convert this, your EV trucks, what kind of effect will this have? This will affect your cost of goods sold, right? They were talking about the EV trucks, right? Yes. EV trucks will help us in terms of sustainability and cost savings. Fuel-powered trucks are quite expensive. If we can use the EV truck, at the 6 million baht we will invest. This will be a pilot project, and we'll be monitoring the savings that we have, and we will expand it to be a long-term project. The second thing is that it leads to improved sustainability for TFM, because sustainability is important. our business performance and sustainability have to go hand in hand. If we have the EV trucks to help with our transportation costs, it will help lower that significantly. I think this is a logical step. Could I ask about the outlook for the shrimp farming area? The farmers this year, what is your expectation for shrimp farming and also sea bass farming? Can you give us an overview for this year? Shrimp, first of all, I think that the past year it was 260,000 in Thailand. I don't think it'll be less than 260,000. It'll be plus or minus 5%, but it won't, if it increases, it won't be a significant increase. Many of the farming areas, it's normal for them in the rainy season, in the fourth quarter, for instance. They have viruses, they have issues, white spots. People are now, shrimp production is picking up. There is area, they have area to do this. It's their livelihood. If they don't farm shrimp, they don't know what to do. Many people are very good at shrimp farming. I've met many of these customers. They have low production costs and they're able to raise many shrimp at a low cost. This segment, the shrimp farming business, will continue on because it's how they make their livelihood. So I don't expect the number to drop below 260,000 like it was the year before. Next year, this year, it may go up by 5 plus or minus 5%. And we are communicating with the farmers that we have our cold storage. We're telling them the market, telling the farmers that they should continue with shrimp production because there is demand, market demand for shrimp. One pond may lead to 70 shrimps in 1 month, and then the next month they can manage and farm bigger size shrimp, 30 to 40 bigger size shrimp. So I don't expect the overall yield for shrimp farming to be less than last year. Farmers who are successful will continue to expand their shrimp farming. There are many projects that the private sector, where the private sector and government are going in to help for shrimp farming. For sea bass farming, I think the production will be 40 to 50,000 tons. In the past year, we saw an increase in the number of tourists, and tourists choose to consume sea bass. And there has been good news for the sea bass team. The government has an association. There's an association for sea bass farmers. We used to import sea bass from Malaysia, 12,000 tons, but the government is going to be very strict about this now. The import of sea bass from Malaysia will be limited. This is official. The government is going to check antibiotics for sea bass. So people who want to import sea bass into Thailand, it will be lower than the 12,000 tons. That means that in Thailand we have 40,000 tons capacity, means that we can produce more sea bass because of the limited import set by the government. When the sea bass imports come in, they have to be checked. And when they are kept for checking at customs or at the border, it leads to a drop in the quality. Last week, there was news that the government is providing a subsidy for sea bass farmers as well in the various provinces. And you can go and check the news for this information. I think it's about 30 baht for the sea bass farmers. And this is going to, again, so remember there's a blocking of the import and there's also a price subsidy. And this is going to lead to an increase in the sea bass production domestically. and our market share is 34%. We are number one in the market. And if there's an increase in the sea bass production, that means we can sell more sea bass feed. Are there any other questions? If there are no further questions, then we would like to thank all of the analysts joining us today. Also, the analysts joining us online. Thank you very much.